Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about making changes in one's life. Changes are often hard, and sometimes we know these changes are going to be a benefit to us, but we don't want to put them in motion because it's either difficult or it's uncomfortable, or you have to have someone else come into your life to facilitate the change. There's a lot of times you see in like personal relationships. People will do it with their careers, gets locked in a job they don't really feel is right for them, or maybe they just need a new change of environment. That's sort of what happened with me. I ended up changing my career kind of midway through my life and doing a big change, moving to a brand new state outside of my comfort area. And after making the change, I didn't even stay in the same field. I'm now doing something completely different from what I did before. So why am I talking about this? I found some parallels in the work I do now with people's mentality about looking at solar energy. I started out over a year ago now in this new business where we sell roofs, we sell people solar power, but a lot of times when I'm talking to people initially about it, I'll get some like pushback, and it's usually something like, well, we looked at this like 20 years ago, it wasn't right for us, or we heard a friend of us talk about solar power, and she said, back in the 70s when she had it, it just wasn't worth it. Well, I gotta say, while I get those were concerns in the past, and people might have heard bad things from others, things have changed a lot. It's sort of like if somebody got the computer back in 1980, when Apples were new or whatever, and decided because they had this bad experience with the original Apple computer, we're never going to get a computer again, right? That would be a mistake. Well, it's the same sort of thing with solar. It's got a lot more efficient, it's got a lot better. The technology behind the solar, like the smart home tech, all the little things like the inverters and stuff have been improved for efficiency, and the panels themselves. It's just like a whole different world now. So when I hear that response from people I work with, my clients and whatnot, or just people kind of interested in it, it always kind of makes me think that there's something in our messaging out there that's kind of holding people back intentionally from looking at this as a viable option. And it's that fear and everything from what you've heard other people's experience be back in 10, 20 years ago with solar. But what I found is in this industry that you can really save people a lot of money, and most of the time when we look at the financials with them, it kind of becomes a no-brainer. So if you've been thinking of ways to cut down your expenses, power, just general overall expenses every month, this is a great way to do it. And I know a lot of people think, well, if I get solar, I'm just replacing one bill for another. But yes, you are replacing a lot of that electricity that you're pulling from the grid into supplying electricity to the grid and for your own use. However, the difference of what you pay for the panels is still less than what you would have just paid for your electricity. So it's kind of a no-brainer when people see that, and really makes a case for itself. So the hardest part of my job is just getting people to listen to a presentation. After that, most of the time, people are on board, because they see it makes sense. The financials make sense. So that's what I want to talk about. If you've been thinking about solar in the past, now's a great time. I work for a company, we're about 20% cheaper than a lot of the mom and pop companies out there who do solar. So we can definitely save you money over what you would get with most contracting installers. Doesn't mean it's right for everybody. Not everybody was going to qualify for solar. Kind of depends on how your house looks, if you have a lot of shade or not. But it's worth, a 15-minute phone call. Find out if it is right for you so you'll know for sure. And don't just go off what you've heard in rumors or from your aunt or uncle because they got solar 20 years ago. Anyway, that's all I got to say today. Hopefully that's helpful. I'm going to leave my email down in the description below if you want to reach out to me. And even if it's just to have a conversation. We also only work in 20 different states. So I'm going to put a little map here on the screen for you so you can see which states that is. If you're not in one of those states, maybe I can refer you to somebody else. But solar is a great way to save money. It's smart. You get equity from it. instead of just having it be a liability every month on your expenses. Anyway, thank you for your time.